Hello my friends, and welcome back. Today's update is absolutely packed. We've got multiple kabooms across Crimea, new drone strikes deep inside Russian territory, and some critical changes happening along the front lines. So buckle in, because this one's going to be longer than usual. Let's start from the Ruzzia airfield in Crimea, a Russian military base that has now been struck 3 times by Ukrainian drones. According to satellite and drone footage, the latest attack destroyed several radars and aircraft parked on the apron, including the Antonov An-26, a Soviet-era transport plane. Now, I actually know this aircraft quite well. I flew the An-26 at the beginning of my aviation career, transporting cargo between Turkey and Greece. So believe me when I say, Russia has no real alternative to this plane. It's old, but essential for their logistics network. The drone footage shows a Ukrainian UAV approaching from the west, turning toward the base, and then striking a radar installation, likely active at the time. Moments later, it hit the An-26 parked nearby. You can clearly see the aircraft with its tail number and dolphin insignia. I remember this exact plane from an air show decades ago. It's been around that long. Unfortunately for Russia, maintenance wasn't enough to save it. The drone hit right next to the fuel tanks, causing a massive explosion. Flames engulfed the aircraft, and that was the end of the old Dolphin An-26. Nearby, a second aircraft was also damaged, possibly another An-26 or a B-12 maritime patrol plane. Some helicopters can be seen too, stripped for spare parts. Russia seems unable to defend this base at all. Ruzzia is not as heavily protected as Belbek, which is only about 15 kilometers away and hosts Russia's fighter jets and bombers. With limited air defense systems, Russia is now forced to prioritize, and these aging transport and surveillance aircraft are becoming easy targets.
Speaking of targets, Ukraine also struck a gas distribution station in occupied Luhansk. This attack, carried out by the 14th UAV Regiment, caused multiple massive explosions overnight. The facility supplied the Luhansk power plant. Now forced to switch to coal, satellite images show enormous fires spreading through the site. It's a significant blow. Luhansk and Donetsk are key logistical hubs for Russian forces, and losing this infrastructure just before winter will make their supply situation even worse. Now, onto aviation news. Early this morning, Ukraine's air defense intercepted and destroyed a Russian Su-34 fighter bomber that was preparing to drop glide bombs on Ukrainian positions. Reports suggest it could have been taken down by a Patriot missile or even an air-to-air interception. Both pilots were killed. For Russia, that's another expensive loss. But for Ukraine, it's justice. Those same Su-34s have been relentlessly bombing Ukrainian cities and infrastructure for months. Meanwhile, Russia released footage claiming it struck a Ukrainian Patriot radar system with an Iskander ballistic missile. However, analysts believe it might have been a decoy setup. The location and configuration just don't match known Patriot deployments. Ukraine often uses decoys to trick Russian surveillance drones into wasting expensive missiles. Now, the pattern is clear. Russia keeps escalating, not just in Ukraine, but against NATO countries too. Recently, Russian fighter jets violated Estonian airspace for 12 minutes, and Moscow claimed it was in response to Ukrainian attacks on Crimea, which makes no sense at all. Those Ukrainian strikes have been happening since 2022. Across Europe, Russian drones have been spotted flying near Denmark and the Baltic region. NATO nations are on high alert. Denmark's prime minister even said, "We are in a hybrid war, facing cyber attacks, airspace violations, and sabotage operations." NATO has now warned Russia directly. Any aircraft or drone entering its airspace will be shot down.